I'm Sue Bennett. I'm going to do an oil demonstration. So I thought what I would do is something that I've been interested in right now for the last 8-9 months. Kind of a series using of paste that's filled up with molded paste on it, and I like texture a lot. The oil mantra. We paint thin to thick in oil. You put the and dark to light, soft to sharp, and dull to bright. And so let's think about what that means. Thin to thick is you're putting on and combine those dark to light. So I'm first putting on darks, and I'm putting them on thin. And that means I will thin the darks down a little bit with a thinner of some kind, or a medium of some kind, or maybe the medium and thinner mixed together usually. And put those down first. So then soft to sharp, and that's talking about edges. When you first start out, you want to have softened edges throughout the painting. Again, thinning them out, meeting the value, however you soften your edges to keep them fairly soft most of the time. And then you can always sharpen an edge at the end of the painting. What's harder is to get those soft edges later on. So it helps if you're a little mindful of that. And even in my drawing, you can see that I drew it with soft edges on there. And then dull to bright speaks for itself. You go more neutral in the beginning of the painting, or more on not the bright, sparkly touches that you're going to end up with. You save those jewel touches until the end and get them just where you want. I have really a pretty limited palette. I usually use one or two, I'll hold it up, well, maybe I won't.
It's okay, we can see what it is.
Okay, a warmer, cool yellow. And for this one, because I'm dealing so much with the fall colors in those leaves, I put out both the warm and the cool yellow. And I'll take one of those yellows and mix it with my red to get an orange. And so that way you know the color has harmony because you mixed it right from those. The red is a cadmium red, medium, or a naphtha red. I will use either one of those. And then I mix the red and the blue together, and I've already done that, and I come out with a purpley color. This is more on the red purple. So I'm going to dull it down with a little bit of the blue. Okay. Now, for the staining color, I'm going to mix those two together and get kind of a sienna-ish. And I've done another thing. We'll see how it works. I think it's going to work fine. After I got the drawing on there, because it often happens when I just draw with it, I'll lose it right away with the paint thinner in this. It'll just drip right down, and pretty soon, okay, well then I get through staining it and start drawing again. And so this time I used a product called Spectrafix, and it was actually developed for pastel painters. And just sprayed it on here, and it fixes. It puts a layer of fixative between the oil, the drawing, and this. So some of it might move. I don't know, how much spray I had on there. Then it is at this stage too that you can do a little bit of modeling if you want. To just pick out a few lights, and a lot of times when I haven't drawn, I'll I don't really need these lights. I'm just showing you.
Yeah, I'm picking that up.
A lot of times, like if it were a big field, a meadow with a white house in it, or something, I might pick out some tops of of things that will end up being flowers. Or I might pick out the some of the White House. I mixed up all of my three primaries, red, yellow, blue, into making a dark. I think it's still on the blue side. It's probably as close to black as I will have, though, and then a bit of brown.
Is that like for values, or are you going for color now?
I'm just starting to put in a few colors, yeah. And they could be, they'll have a lot of difference to them because these are pretty flat right now. Just once I go there, it just makes me want to balance it out, and so you kind of keep working until it feels sort of balanced, or as far as I want to carry it.
Do you stick to this basic palette most of the time then?
Basic, yeah. Yeah, most of the time. But I will bring in, I'll bring in a permanent rose, if it calls for that, or I'll bring in other things, and I'll work between the reds or between the yellows. In oil paint, you've got this great stuff called retouch varnish, or you use your two mediums, like I mix the thinner with the medium, or you mix those and you feed the whole painting so you freshen up that oil again, or the retouch varnish does essentially that same thing. So you can come back to it. You can come back many times over, but there is a point where it would start getting old, I think.
I haven't got there yet.
I can't believe how much you've painted just in the time that you've been here. As far as how it's changed from the first shot that I took to right now.
Oh, yeah?
It's amazing.
See, right there I just put in these, and these look kind of too blue. And yet, just in that desire to have things, have some variation, I'm going to go with too blue instead of a little more purple in a few of them, just to add some more interest.
Mm-hmm.
I did smush through some of these, just it gets boring if they're too spelled out. I got almost the first layer everywhere. That's really the fun of it starts, because I love to start chunking on paint and moving it around more. But this has a flat appearance that isn't molded now because of just getting the. So we shall leave it to be continued. I won't be painting tonight. I would like to put in a piece of white somewhere, or light. It wouldn't be a white, but it would be a piece of the light coming through. And I usually will tone my lights with just a faint little bit of either tan or yellow to just warm them up, so it's not white eyeball syndrome. Do you ever see, in a portrait where the eyeballs are white, or the whites of the eyes are white? That is the hardest things ever to get students to do in portrait, is to paint through those whites of the eyes and push them back in the eyeball where they're supposed to be instead of popping out. Right here we've got a nice little chunk of white. Back down. Oh, I can't put that one in because I kind of lost my shape. So, here we are.
I love it.